What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back out with another of the Chris Watts video for part 2 of what we just watched not too long ago, a couple days ago, and that is pretty much the neighbors interview, surveyed the canvas area. It's not all of it because there is more. I'm on the lookout for it, but we're going to be watching the part 2 to Friday's part 1. So, grab a chair, get comfortable. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you all so much for the love and support. And with that being said, let's get into part 2.
Okay. And the reason I mention it is it was gone by the time you guys left yesterday.
Okay. Well, did you see the police in the area while that truck was still here?
See, I can't see it from my house.
Gotcha.
So, it could have been gone by then.
Okay.
But, you know, this is unusual. Very quiet neighborhood.
Yes, this is very unusual. That's why we're got a lot of resources out here trying to find them and make sure they're okay. So,
I mean, I didn't know she was pregnant again. I hardly ever see her.
Okay. How do you know she's pregnant?
It said it on Neighborhood Watch.
Okay. I gotcha. But you didn't know it?
No.
So Betty's able to find out by the news. But again, Betty probably doesn't go on Facebook like Nicole does.
Okay.
I hardly ever see her just normally. They keep very much to themselves.
When you did see her, did you ever see her around her husband?
Yeah.
How
They
were
would have barbecues.
Yeah. Were they polite, friendly, or was she kind of quiet, reserved? What was it?
They both are very quiet, reserved, very quiet.
Okay. When was the
Nice
last time
neighbors.
you spoke to her?
It's interesting that on one side of the house, Betty says, oh, they're quiet, they keep to themselves. But then if you ask Nate on the other side, they argue. Chris was yelling a lot, and it's just kind of interesting to see the different, how do you want to say it? Not, what's that word I'm trying to find? I think I'm thinking about witnesses, because they witness on both sides of the neighbors. So.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've seen her all summer.
Oh, really?
She's been gone.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
kiddos, when was the last time you saw little kiddos?
You're making me work my
I
brain.
know, really digging deep in it.
It could be 4 to 6 weeks since they've been out. They have all their little toys. But they don't go outside in the heat of the day. At least that's kind of what I notice. And they don't go outside unless an adult is there.
Wonderful. I'm glad. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Just
two
smart.
will be out by themselves.
Yeah, they are. What are they? 3 and 5, I think. Or 2 and 4, something like that.
3 and 4,
3 and 4.
according to my pamphlet.
Yeah.
So,
They're cute little things.
anything that I haven't asked that you think I should know, or is just odd, or something you thought was weird?
I wouldn't think anything is weird from over there because normally you hardly ever see anyone go in, come out. Now, I saw his truck leave yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I was leaving for the gym. His truck had the lights on, which is unusual for that morning, 5:15 in the morning. Only fools like me are up.
So you don't usually see him leave at that time of day? Oh, was that the gray truck, or what truck was that?
That was his regular truck. It's a pretty big truck. Maybe, what could I compare it to? An F-250, 350.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah.
And that steel truck, is that like a pickup or a
Pickup.
pickup truck?
Yeah.
Is that a camper or anything? A camper shell or anything on the back of it? Would you say it's bigger than that truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it have 2 or 4 doors, steam motor?
No, I don't. I never paid much attention. I'm gonna stop paying attention. This is scary.
Well, if it doesn't something to happen again.
Never
Yeah,
know
I-
when you're
I
gonna
hope
need
not.
to
God, I hope
be
these,
questioned.
the mother and two children are found okay.
We all
But
hope.
there's like I said, never any noise, never any yelling. Very quiet, very pleasant when you speak to them. They keep themselves.
Never heard an argument or anything over there?
Never.
Okay.
See,
Did they ever mention if they've ever been in a fight or having bad
see, Nate says it, but she doesn't. But she probably keeps to herself a lot more.
days to you?
No.
No.
No, the neighbors and we really don't talk much. I mean, Cheryl and I do because we're the same age. They're so much younger. There's not a lot in common,
Ah, fair
you
enough.
know,
Okay.
to
That'll
be
work.
honest.
And so, was it yesterday morning, Monday morning that you went to the gym?
I go every day.
Okay, so then, if you can remember yesterday morning going out, was there?
That's when I noticed the little truck.
Okay, and where was it? Was it in the driveway or on the street?
No, it was on the street. It was
Which was NK's.
between the two houses, right about in front of my tree, you know.
He said it's a little truck or the
It's a smaller truck than what's normally there.
okay, like that size or smaller?
No, maybe that size.
Maybe that size. Okay.
No camper,
And that was the gray one?
yeah.
And you think
I
his normal truck's like the 2500
Yeah,
or
it's a
3500?
bigger truck.
But both gray.
See, that's where the discrepancy comes up. Is she says no camper, but then the boys that we heard in that one interview briefly, they said that they saw a silver truck with a camper on it, different colored as well. It's a head scratcher.
Gray?
Yeah, but different shades of gray.
Okay. The other littler one, was it darker or lighter?
I believe it was lighter.
Okay.
Similar like a steel.
Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah, and the other one's darker.
Now I'll show you which one I'm talking about. This is the truck that they were looking at.
In the gray. Yeah, but I haven't, except for this morning, come to think of it, I haven't seen a lot of the big trucks.
Which was Chris's.
Is that what you're finding? You haven't seen, I mean, not that I want to wake you.
And I also put Chris's up here. So top one is Nicole's, bottom one is Chris's.
Morning, but you know, you're making me think that I did see the truck. I believe it was this morning because the lights were turned on, and I was pulling. You have to be careful coming out of here
And again, campers can be taken off and on pretty easily.
because it's kind of a three-way mess if you're all going the same
Yeah.
place. But I noticed that the back lights were on. But
That was around 5:15 this morning.
yeah, I leave 5:15 every morning.
And that's kind of odd for him.
Well, I don't. Not often do I see the lights that early.
Okay.
But then he could leave at 5:20, and I would not know it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You see him leave sometimes in the morning to go to work? You ever?
Not often. No. I kind of keep to myself, and no. Not. I'm really not nosy. I have been the last 2 days with you
Sure.
guys out here, but yeah.
Is it just you that lives here, or
No, I have a significant other, but he's at work.
okay?
Yeah.
And then, how far out does your ring camera go?
It's just this area, the front porch, and around in front of the garage.
Okay. Did you see any? Have you looked back on yesterday morning or this morning and see anything on?
My significant other, he keeps track of it at work all the time, and he can tell when the postmen come and everything. And I'm here most of the time. I was gone this morning for a bit, but you know, postmen, nothing out of the norm. We have a lot of dog walkers
Okay.
that come by.
Okay. And the camera over the garage, is that just the garage area? Is that a light?
It focuses on this area.
This area. Okay.
Nothing that they can
That's not
use.
going to see out to the roadway.
No.
Okay. Would it be picked up if the light came and flashed on it? Would it pick up as you drove by? If it cast
The
a shadow?
ringer does.
The ringer does.
Yeah, and the ringer, basically the ringer will pick up right at that corner there.
I so wish we had Betty's ring camera footage.
Okay.
So we probably could get to see her stuff.
not seeing, I don't see people walking up and down unless they're walking their dogs.
Yeah.
And kids are going back to school, so
Right.
I don't even see them.
I feel
much
so bad for
anymore.
Bella and Celeste just because they didn't get to go to school and
Yesterday morning.
make
You happen
tons
to
of
see
friends.
your neighbor's truck in the driveway or on the street?
I
or
didn't
anywhere?
notice it.
No. Okay.
No. And I don't look for, like I said, I saw the back lights on and that's what caught my attention.
That was this morning.
Is he not home
Because she left, and right as she left, that's when Chris came out.
either?
Your neighbor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's home. Any other odd vehicles, pickups, cars, planes,
Trains.
helicopters?
No. No, we don't
Spaceships.
I know Cheryl has a lot of company, but I know she tells me when they're coming. And
Okay.
other than that, I don't see a lot. Now the neighbor across the street has a big truck, Remmert Construction or something. He must own his own business. That's not here today, and that's gone. And he parks it right there a lot of times. But other than that,
She's pretty aware of her surroundings.
this
That's
is.
good. That's a good thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing, except people can get away with things like this when you're in a quiet neighborhood and nobody's really watching.
Well, I'm going to leave you this. It has a couple.
But you think as an HOA, you would have people watching each other's homes and making sure that people are not stealing. But then you hear Chris beforehand said that a lot of his tools got stolen the weeks prior. And then this happened. And just it's like usually HOA home areas, they're really good about neighborhood watch and so forth. But again, we can't just blame Betty or anything like that because she's such a sweet woman and she was just living her life. She's going to the gym. So in passing, they're trying to ask if she saw this or that. And again, it's not Betty's fault, but it's just keep your eyes peeled because you never know what's going to happen.
Phone numbers to contact Detective Dave Baumhover, or an email address if there's something that pops in mind or something I didn't ask or something that's just odd that you want to get out to us. Please feel free to either call us or email him.
Okay.
Everything helps. Don't ever think it's too small for us or we already might know it.
I watch them.
If we don't know it, the great. If we know it, then it's always good to back it up, okay?
Well, I pray to God that you find her and her two little girls.
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
Well, they're in heaven.
All right.
So.
Well, we'll let you get back to hopefully enjoy your afternoon. And
Yeah.
if we have any further questions, we'll come back and ask you.
I'm usually here.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Anytime. You too. Bye.
Just makes it so like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
So she said her Ring doorbell camera can see this part. So I wonder if they ever even got any footage.
I was forgetting something.
Okay, I was just making sure because I see some, I don't know if these are brackets up here kind of thing. If they were like spotlights or what have you, but I was just making sure if those were like roof, what do they call those, peak roof bars.
I kind of know sometimes what I do.
So the Watts house is right here, and then it's Betty's, and then. So she said the truck was parked where the Lexus is, in front of her tree. Is where she said that she saw that truck. So right there is where she saw it. I think these garages like this are weird. Like there's no room to back up and.
Grab your
Like 3-point turn.
Betty, B-E-T-T-E.
Well, Betty, if you're ever watching this, you're such a sweet woman.
And M-A-R-C-O-U-X.
Sorry.
Anytime.
Have a great day.
Did you just do what you...
Don't you know?
Yeah. You have your work well thing?
I have this
I
Hi.
see all this going on. Would you mind if I just dump this in my
No,
trash?
come on.
They're about to come along here, and I want to be sure this
Is
is
out in there? No problem.
Another neighbor.
Do you want to
So I had two of the okay.
come in or sit out here?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Either way makes it pretty easy.
If you come in, that'd be
Sure. Yeah.
And it
we
was
can do
91 degrees that day, the day after the
Yeah, I just
disappearance.
got home about 20 minutes ago and saw these cars.
that. Yeah.
And then I called up, and they haven't told me yet what's going on. They said someone has to call me back to tell me.
Okay. Well, we'll try to answer as much as we can, as well as got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, you can take a seat over there.
Oh, if you don't mind, I'm going to stand or sit down all day, so it's kind of a relaxing
Sure,
to be
sure.
standing up. So my name is Brent, and this is Officer Herbert. We're both for Frederick Police Department. Right now, we're just kind of trying to do an area search or canvass of the neighborhood. We have a couple people that are missing right now. So this young lady and her two girls were last seen around 2 or 3 o'clock Monday morning. And we're just trying to see if anybody saw anything unusual or
Monday morning, we got home from a trip Sunday night,
okay.
and I caught a bad cold, so did my husband.
Oh no.
So I think he went out around noonish. That was yesterday. I stayed home in bed all day to get better.
Okay.
I wasn't even out there. But does she live in this neighborhood?
She lives 3 houses down, 3 or 4 houses down.
On Saratoga?
Yep, on Saratoga, yep.
Wow. Because her face looks familiar. I've either seen her walking her dog sometime or seen her at the swimming pool. Because her face looks very familiar.
Okay.
I know these neighbors very well. That neighbor right there a little bit. But beyond that, and I've made some acquaintances catty corner, but beyond that down the road, I don't really know the people. But I believe I've seen her. But
Okay.
it wouldn't have been yesterday because
No.
I stayed in bed all day.
Okay. Have you seen any odd vehicles, odd people sitting around or doing anything weird?
Well, you know, I do this myself sometimes. I hate to blame on somebody, but sometimes in flower season, especially planting season in the spring, I'll drive around pretty neighborhoods and get ideas for how to do my flowers. I especially am bad about that in Old Town Longmont. So at one time I had a police car looking at me for doing it. They think I'm casing. So I hate to even talk about this, but what morning was it? Let's see. This
She's
is
a sweet woman,
Tuesday.
too.
I've only been home since Sunday night. So I must have gone out Sunday night or Monday. When I say stay in bed, it usually means I get up and down to do little tiddly things around the house. I might have gone out, opened the garage. Okay, yesterday, I probably went out and opened the garage door to pull some weeds and waters and things, because when we were gone, they'd gone a long time without watering up front. And I did notice that this white van kept circling around.
Okay.
White
So I saw
van.
it 2 times in close timing, so.
That early in the morning.
May make some van. It didn't look like one of those crossover cars like we have. We have a crossover, you know, it's white. But this looked, I think, more like you truly call it a van.
Okay. Like a...
But not real old fashioned, just kind of a more modern one on my cars.
No
More of a
worries.
minivan or more of a utility van? Like a work type white van or more of a
It could have been either, but I think mini.
minivan?
Like a white
I
minivan.
think. Because the thought went through my head, because, you know, I'm on the email for
Well, Nicole had a Forerunner that was white, and I'll show you guys here. So she's kind of explaining like this one on the right, where it looked like a work truck, kind of. She said, but then it looks similar to Nicole's Forerunner that she had. Um, but again, what is your thoughts on that?
Our neighborhood watch.
Okay.
And
So they,
before our
so that's a confirmation that they do have a neighborhood watch.
trip, we had been gone a week from, all last week for 7 days. Before that, I gotten these eerie watch alerts during that prior week that a couple people's, or maybe just one, I thought it was maybe two, had attempts at break-ins.
Yup. Which Chris said.
One in the middle of the night. Maybe that was the only one.
That took his
So
tools.
I started to get worried that the activity would have been a van pulling up to your garage.
They also, there's a theory going around that people have said that that burglary was an attempt to kind of foreshadow that there is people in the area that are doing burglaries, possibly up to no good, where Chris and Nicole were going to try to use that as an excuse that they were kidnapped. Oh my gosh, there was burglaries not too long ago. That Nicole, Chris, and Jim apparently did all these different burglaries, but again, we can't say for 100% certainty because we don't know if it's fact or not.
Because this person, the way the report came through, had the garage door open. They came through this interior door because it hadn't been locked, and that's when they were caught. I think they were in shop, but I might have made that up. I have vivid dreams after things like that. So as a result of that, I keep my eyes open if I see a van. So I really noticed a van, and it would have had to. It could have been late Sunday night. It could have been because we got home at 5-ish, and when I see weeds, I'll finally go pull them. But I think it was yesterday morning. And then I stayed in the whole rest of the day. But I've really had my eyes open for vans. I mean, because I'm nervous it could happen to us.
What time yesterday morning do you think?
Oh, I wish I could remember when I pulled those weeds.
Daylight or?
Yeah, it was definitely daylight.
Definitely after daylight.
And even if it was Sunday evening, it was still light because we got home around 5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
It was definitely in the light. It was not even a little bit dark.
Okay.
But
Because Chris left that morning when it was pretty still tinty of darkness. He left when it started getting a little bit brighter outside, so we can't use that.
the van was just sort of driving slowly along, and then I thought, okay, maybe they're just admiring flowers like I do. And then, I'm in and out a few times dumping things in the dumpster and doing that, and the same one was doing it a second time around. So I did notice it.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Could I get your first name?
Ann, A-N-N,
What's your last name?
Watt, W-A-T-T, and my husband Don, he's here too, he's downstairs in his office.
Okay.
And he
They're
was
Watts too,
out running around
but what?
yesterday morning when I was in bed. I don't know if you want to ask him anything. Like, he went out with the car, something like 8 to 11, 8 to 12, something like that.
Yeah,
He
we
would have been-
could
You
chat
want
with
me to
him
go
too.
get him?
Yeah, that would be great.
If you're done with me, though, I want to tell you something that happened when I was here that I just have never reported because I didn't know if I was overreacting. So it was about, it was at the end of spring, beginning of summer. Oh, what month would it have been? So a couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4, but no longer than that.
April, June, March.
Probably
I'm lucky if I can remember yesterday.
March or April. Probably April. Well, no, I think probably the very beginning of April. Because we went on a trip after that, and I remember making Don lock the security door before our trip. Okay. So I think it'd be about the very beginning of April.
Okay.
And so at 10 after 9, that's pretty dark at that time of year, you know, right now it wouldn't be. And I was up here, going to bed, Don was still downstairs in his office, and it sounded like some activity on our front porch, and all of a sudden the doorbell goes 4 times. Ding, 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 ding. You know, and most normal people that we know wouldn't ring the doorbell that way. It was very wild and intense. And me being halfway dressed in my pajamas, I did not want to even go peek at the peephole. I just kind of froze, like, go away, it's too dark. And when it's dark, I never answer the door anyway, I just don't.
Fair enough.
Smart woman.
I didn't go, and I was in there calculating where I'm going to hide if they try to break in. And then I let quite a few minutes go by, and then I was going to go check out our 2 windows here in the front room, which is our sort of office library room upstairs. But before I could do that, I was going to keep it all dark when I did that. And I was still kind of frozen in there, figuring out where I was going to hide. I heard a thump at the door. And if I could describe the thump, it sounded like either of 2 things. Like someone just took full body weight on the shoulder and pumped themselves into it super hard, just on the door to see if it would give. Or if they took a foot and went like that.
Maybe trying to
But
break in.
I saw no scuff marks in the morning. I was hooked. And then I did, after, you know, quite a few minutes after that, I calmed down. I went and looked out the front and I saw nothing. And we have no dogs to be barking or anything like that. Everybody keeps them inside around here. But I had sort of forgotten. I didn't want to tell my husband right away in the morning. I wanted to give it some time because he gets in real bad moods about stuff like that. And he'll go, why did we ever buy that house? Because we've only lived here a year and a half.
Okay.
But we go pulling out of the garage that morning after that happened, and the lid was lifted open.
Okay. That's not normal for you guys?
Just somebody tried to get in there.
Okay. Was it broken at all, or just left it open?
Just lifted open. But we live in a pretty new house. I mean, we've only been here a year and a half, and it had been lived in about 4 years before us. But I keep it pretty clean, so those keys do not have any smudges on them. So it'd be really hard for them to figure out what our code was. I've read that that's one of the ways they break into the garages. So it's pretty clean keypad.
People can't keep to
Was
themselves.
that way that morning too, and many nights after that, not consistently, I have us lock our security door in addition to the deadbolts and the locks.
Okay.
You know, both on the entry door and the garage entry door. We always do it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if any other neighbors reported anything like that. I haven't heard of any. I think it might have been a bunch of hoodlum kids, real random stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't have a clue from that far back, but we can go take a look. But if nothing was broken, then it's good to let us know when that stuff happens so we see a pattern.
Yeah, I should have called.
4 months later, I can't do too much about it. I can't even tell you if we had some problems or whatever. On those type of situations, it's good to just give us a call because, one, it puts a uniformed officer in the area, and a big part of our job is deterrence by presence. So we may not know they're up to no good, but they see us. Or
Like,
we
oh,
see
I can't
them
go
when
over
they got
there.
Contact, they now know we're in the area, and they scatter off. They never see us, and nobody ever reports it. They may try 2, 3 times, and next time they get through that door and you're here, we have problems because you're here. So if you call us and then they see us before anything happens,
Good idea.
they get spooked off a different neighborhood that doesn't care as much. But we don't want that to be victimized on you. We don't want them in their house.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, it gives the night guys some stuff to do and an area to go. And if we do get a lot of complaints, we can broadcast something on our social media like, hey, this is what's going on in this area. Please let us know if it's happening to you or if you know
So if you guys ever have any of those problems, give the police a call.
what's going on. Give us a call.
Yeah.
And that way it just gives us a little bit more heads up of what's going on.
Yeah, I should have.
Only so many eyes in the area.
So many women.
Eyes in the area?
Yeah.
We usually have 2 or 3 guys on at night. We can only be so many places. So we really determine or depend on the residents to give us a heads up of what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this area is normally really safe. We haven't had much of a problem.
Saying
But
that, I was beginning to wonder.
this area is usually relatively safe, but new construction brings new opportunities for
And
people that don't
curiosity.
really care for other people's belongings. So just the construction material and stuff, it's an easy steal for them, so it brings it in there. It's not a bad thing, it's just we try to keep it up a little bit more. And then people try to go around different neighborhoods, and we still have a smaller community where a lot of people feel. So a lot of people leave open doors on their vehicles, open garage doors, which
I
once
lock
that gets out
everything.
into the dark crowd, everybody wants to come up here. So we really, again, depend on the area to start locking our stuff, and it's not, what is it called, completely away from the Denver area, or anything that's looking for easy money. We call these crimes of opportunity. They're not looking at really confrontation. They're looking to find a big score with nobody knowing. So the open door, easy to get the laptop. Locked door, laptop in there, they're probably not going to break the window because they don't want the confrontation of somebody saying, hey, or the broken, they just want the easy stuff. So that's where those doors really come in.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now for our area, people are stealing wire because they're stripping the wire, and then inside the copper, they're using that, taking it to the metal places, and getting good money on copper because copper's high right now. It's ridiculous. It's like go out and find a job, and with all that effort that they're doing in stealing and breaking stuff and so forth, they could be getting a job and making good money.
Okay, so they might be out stealing lumber and stuff like that, and then just
Because
say,
it's
while
easy.
we're out here, let's do some
Let's
damage.
see what's open.
Yep.
Just for the
Tools.
appliances or small computers or just cash. Very, 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 like most of them that we're seeing, if they see a light turn on or something, they're gone.
Okay.
So it's very simple. Like even if you heard that, throw a light on real quick. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
And they don't really like the confrontation.
Yeah, because the house was totally dark at that time.
Yep.
at night.
So any sort of motion light too up front is a very good deterrent. People just don't like it.
That's good to
So
know.
I got
Okay, well,
lights
I'll
on
go
my
get
houses.
perfect.
You're gonna be lit up like a spotlight.
Pretty decent amount of context based on the time of day.
I'm trying to hear their conversation.
Alright, well, no problem, thanks. Just working on getting the food to us.
So
And they're going to take Ian back to the PD because they're going to use him as the face of the PD.
for the PR stuff,
He's like, oh, he's not too short. He's probably going to throw you on camera. So I love it.
So right now she's getting her husband.
read up and
Yes, the same awful cold that I was in bed with you.
We had our kids, grandkids,
Grandkids.
last, just before school vacation, and I came home with a cold. So
they get into a lot of this
so
stuff.
I would love to shake hands on
Oh,
this.
no worries. Thank you.
Obviously, we're with Frederick. I'm Brent. This
Yep.
is Officer Herbert. We're just trying to figure out if you had seen anything kind of odd in the area. Like I said, 3 neighbors down, just looking. It's a wife and 2 kids that haven't been seen since early Monday morning. And we're just trying to do what we can and put the effort out there to see how many eyes we can get in the area to see if they saw anything odd or.
So I came, we were down in southern Colorado, and I came back Saturday, because I came early, and my daughter went to my place with the kids and my dad. So I was here Saturday from maybe 4 o'clock on, and then Sunday I went out to eat, but I've been spending a lot of time just lying in bed.
Okay.
And then Monday I did, I mowed the lawn, and then we had an Xfinity tech come in. So I haven't been out much, and I sure didn't see anything that I can think
And then you drove off to eat. I think it's in
So at an Xfinity truck, vet tech, I'm guessing.
Betty's or
Yeah.
somewhere.
Maybe that might be the van, but not that early though.
Because what I told them was that I saw a white van when I was pulling weeds. I just can't exactly remember if it was Sunday evening or Monday morning, but I think it was yesterday I noticed it because it does this thing that I do sometimes when I'm admiring flowers and getting ideas. It's driving kind of slow. I thought, oh, that's okay. I turned the corner. But then, a few minutes later, I'm walking in and out dumping trash, and the same van's doing the same thing again. So I did notice that white van. I don't think it was as big as a utility van, but I'm not
Maybe
positive.
smaller.
Yeah, now, that was Monday morning.
Again, I mean, a 4Runner could look like a smaller van. I mean, hypothetically.
It was either Monday morning or Sunday afternoon, but it was not dark. And I got home with Elizabeth at 5:15.
Because I think of course, the Xfinity, Comcast would have had their logo on it.
Yeah, this was a plain van. I would have noticed that because I was
Oh, plain van, okay.
I can't recall seeing anyone. I saw our neighbor Mike this morning, but that's.
So you didn't see any
Sorry.
white van driving slow like there's a van.
Do you know those neighbors very well? Have you ever talked to them or know kind of how they are by chance?
3 doors down.
So 3 doors this way?
Yeah, that's who it
I
is.
have-
We have this neighbor pretty well. Does she look familiar to you? She
And
does.
yes, the audio is off. Because people were saying that in the last one. They're like, "Oh, the audio's off. It's off because
last name is
copyright
Watts.
purposes.
Yeah, we're watch.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I guess 3 and 4 years old.
And Don doesn't go to the pool, but I go quite a little bit. And I'm pretty sure I've seen her with the kids.
And that's doesn't ring a bell. Okay.
I don't. We know the neighbors directly here and the two this side, but
Okay. Are they? I guess we already spoke to them. Never mind. I was gonna ask if they're technically home at this time of day, but we already talked to them.
Oh,
So that doesn't.
So they talked to Betty, so they're friends with. So this woman is friends with Betty, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Mike's with
we spoke to them.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys do think of anything or see some more stuff, even in the area as the days continue, both the flyers have a phone number
Sure.
and an email address. If you can't get a hold of somebody, the email address too, just to shoot something off. Don't think anything's too small or too big to let us know.
Okay.
Would be great. Like I said, we're just trying to find them as fast as we can, just to make sure everything's okay. So,
Thank you
any
guys.
news is good news. So,
Thank you guys for working on this.
of
If
course.
I've seen her, I've also talked to her.
Okay.
If I've seen her, I've also talked to her, and it would have been at the pool or out walking her dog. And she looks familiar. No, nothing about her stands out that she was off or anything like that. So I don't think she just got up and wandered off someday.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the information, guys. We're gonna keep going, but like I said, if anything comes up, just give us a heads up, and we'll follow any lead we can. Okay. I appreciate your time, guys. Nice meeting you. Good luck with the colds.
Yeah, it's so terrible that's happened. Did I read somewhere, because I did look on our neighborhood crime watch thing that we're plugged into, that she was last seen, there was a missing person, didn't identify them at all, on the west end of Saratoga. Is that where she was last seen?
The thing that we know is she was last seen at home by her husband.
So another person was
I
missing.
don't know where the west end of Saratoga is or where that's coming from,
Jeez.
but the last place we know is home.
I wish I could see a picture of her husband. Oh, that sounds so freaky.
Okay? All right, guys. Like I said, if you know anything, just let us know. Or if you find out anything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
How will
Did
we?
you talk to
They got another person.
both neighbors on this side?
Nope, just the one. We were working down this way. They were just happened to be out in the driveway, so we went and talked to them, and then we came back here. Now we're going to jump over one and to the last house.
Okay, so that's Rick and
Yeah.
I'll even talk with Rick in case you
Right.
guys don't connect it, if they're not there, I don't know where they're at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I'll leave one of these with them as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you might have left it.
oh, nope, I got it all over here. Perfect.
And it's okay to read a picture of that.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a good afternoon or evening.
I say it's almost 8 o'clock.
Oh, we do too.
So they're in another new home. This is one I haven't seen yet myself. Another more old, or I would say 50s, maybe.
Phil,
not get up
Yeah,
yet.
not go back to work. Right.
This looks like, what's his name? Nate's house, but flipped.
So we're here today just trying to see if you have any information. We are looking this young
I know
lady
her.
and her two daughters. And they're the two houses
Two
down.
houses down, yeah.
Yeah. So she went missing early Monday morning, Sunday night into Monday morning. Her and her two daughters. They have not been seen since. So we're just going around, just gathering some information, trying to see if we can
Right.
get some leads or something that can help us find her
Right.
and her kids.
I have another
So,
person.
do you know her very well?
I didn't even know her name. Her husband walked the girls all the time in a wagon.
Okay.
Yeah. And we just finished our basement a year ago, and when the bar top came, it was extremely heavy, and they only sent one man to deliver it.
Oh.
So I walked down there, knocked on the door, hoping that he would be home.
Yeah.
And he came right down at the same time another neighbor did who was bigger, so I grabbed him. So, he seemed nice. I mean, he was going to help out and stuff. He always says hi when he walks by, and I'm outside with Doogie or out there doing something in the yard. So, I did call the police on them maybe 6 months. No, not that.
Wait, did she say she called the police on them?
Not been seen since. So we're just going around, just gathering some information, trying to see if we can
Right.
get some leads or something that can help us find her
Right.
and her kids. So, do you know her very well?
I didn't even know her name. Her husband walked the girls all the time in a wagon.
Okay.
Yeah. And we just finished our basement a year ago, and when the bar top came, it was extremely heavy, and they only sent one man to deliver it.
Oh.
So I walked down there, knocked on the door, hoping that he would be home.
Yeah.
And he came right down at the same time another neighbor did who was bigger, so I grabbed him. So, he seemed nice. I mean, he was going to help out and stuff. He always says hi when he walks by, and I'm outside with Doogie or out there doing something in the yard.
Yeah.
So, I did call the police on them.
She said that. She said she called the police on them.
Maybe 6 months. No, not that long. 3 or 4 months ago because of their dog. You can hear him right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't want the officer stood out here on the deck and listen because it sounded like it was dying.
This lady said she called the police to Chris and Shenan's about 4 months ago because the dog was outside making noise and she thought it was dying.
I mean, I was scared of a dog like
Okay, nothing big.
it was like, oh, like that. I feel like it was really hurting her.
Well, Dieter was a very vocal dog.
So they went down, knocked on the door, and he said, if there's nothing going on, he said, I won't come back to your house. I'll just get in my car. So. But,
Do you mind if I just go out and take a peek?
oh, sure, go ahead.
Take a peek? Where?
So, did you know her very well? You know much about her?
And she answered the door when I went to get him, and she said that
Say, let's see where she's at. Okay, so there's the townhomes that were built. Love her patio though. You can hear Dieter. So this would have been the drive part that somebody could have came up. You can definitely, so Watt's house is right here. You guys can see my cursor right there. Dieter, oh my goodness. Oh, there's another dog, that's why. So if you think about it, well, Dieter was probably upstairs or in the cage in the front. I was just thinking to myself, maybe Dieter, if he saw somebody in the back, he would have been barking like he is now, but maybe he was silent or silenced by being in the house upstairs, muffled, or in the crate. Oh, it's the work dog. So they did have the dogs in the back too, because people were saying that they didn't feel that the dogs were behind the house. Well, that shows it right there.
I see that.
Wait, what did he say? I thought you said that the dog's alerted.
I see that.
I think she said looking somewhere to poo. So this is Betty's house. The Watts house is on the opposite side there. I wonder where his body camera is. Does he have one? Yep, he does.
And so I saw that you have the ring camera up there. Do you have any other cameras on the exterior of the house?
So they have a ring camera, but no exterior cameras.
There's your ring, and that just kind of covers your front porch and the street.
Yeah, the front porch, and it's kind of hard to see past the front porch. It's a neat porch. Vacation a couple times a year, and my husband,
Did you hear something that said hi there?
we own a food manufacturing company, so
Oh, yeah, that'll pop hers too.
times a week, I get to go with him, so we like to have know who's at our door. You see anything out there? Can't even see the dogs, can you?
I can see the dogs.
Can you see them?
Well, I can see the shadow moving in between the little slats.
You smell another dog?
Well, I'm sure. I have a couple myself, so
Where you at?
I watch these at home, so they're probably all kinds of nonsense.
Because I want to know what she said when he was out there.
Hey, grab your name.
It's Cheryl, Cheryyle.
I think this is Cheryl that Betty mentioned, who is her friend.
Ah, okay. This is Cheryl. Okay. Okay, maybe it was the police officer saying hi there to the doggy when he was petting him, because he just did it right now.
Like, I'm not too old for pets, though. Never too old for that.
Yeah.
I think he's learned.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave that flyer with you if you don't mind. And if you happen to see them or the two girls, or if you think of anything, or if your husband thinks of anything that stands out, or maybe can be useful in helping us maybe try to locate them, then just contact the information on the back. Also on the bottom with Dr. Bob.
He came down here one day. I forgot about that. I like to decorate the porch, as you can tell, for seasons and stuff. And I had it done for Halloween or autumn. And he come back knocking on the door, and he said, "I assume these are probably yours." Two scarecrows that come down the street.
Yeah.
And his wife said, "Check that house like you need the house down there, because she's got the most decorations." So he returned those. So that's couldn't tell you anything about his.
Character.
Yeah,
That's good.
seemed pretty nice.
Well, good. Yeah. Well, we're hoping they
Yeah.
just went for a little walk or something. Extended walk, but
It's been however long it happened.
So all the neighbors were on the alert.
That makes sense. Oh, that's what he's
So
barking.
there'll be some, yeah, so with drugs,
Some
walking
out?
fields and out back.
Oh, yes, yeah, our lovely field.
So we'll have that and the
Oh,
camera crews are out and about too, so
Okay.
there'll be some traffic around, but
that's good.
yeah.
That kind of traffic.
All right, Cheryl, well, thank you again so much.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to leave it there because obviously there's not going to be anything else. They're done with the conversation. Nothing that raises huge, like, kind of thing. We got to look at everything. We got to make sure that we cross our T's and dots our I's. And so, again, guys, make sure that we are putting your comments, your theories, your everything down below. I surely like to read as much as I can. See if anybody strikes up an idea or a theory that's in reason, not one of these weird ones that are out there. Again, I thank you guys for being here. Please take care. Be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video.